Hello, it's Joe, and in this video I am going to be doing both the Legendary and the Starter Pokemon book tags. Both of these were created by my friend Sarah from Novel Serendipity, who also tagged me in her original videos, so I'm going to link her videos down below if you want to go and check those out. And she tagged me like 3 months ago, I think, when she first created these tags, and I'm only just getting to them now, but you know what, better late than never. But I am sorry, Sarah. So I'm going to be starting off with the Legendary Pokemon book tag, and the first prompt for that is based on the Pokemon Mew, and the prompt says, your original favourite book, the book that started it all. And of course, I'm going to be basic and go with Harry Potter. I'm sure I don't have to say much about this. I had these books read to me before I could read, and then when I could read, I started reading them myself, and I've reread them like a million times since then, and they will always mean a lot to me. And yeah, I feel like this series really started my love for reading. So the next prompt is based off Mewtwo, and that is a series where you preferred the second book to the first. And for this, I have chosen Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Six of Crows duology, which I've heard rumour is going to turn into a trilogy or even more. But for now, it's just a duology, and I definitely preferred Crooked Kingdom to the first book, Six of Crows. I really enjoyed both of them, but Crooked Kingdom just takes it up to a whole nother level in terms of characters and plot. And we also got Wyland's perspective in this book, which I enjoyed immensely, and that's something that I feel like the first book was really lacking. And so yeah, I definitely preferred this to the first book. The next prompt is Zapdos, and that prompt is a book where you wanted a character to be struck by lightning to never return. And that's super easy for me. That is David from Truly Devious. I wanted him to die for the entire book, and yeah, I just hate him a lot. He's just a arrogant little... I'm not even going to go there with how much I hate him, but yes, I wanted him to die throughout the entire book, and I would be very happy if he were to be struck by lightning. The next prompt is based off of Moltres, and that says, a book that really got your blood boiling. And I have chosen The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book, first of all, it's an amazing book, but this brought out a lot of emotions in me, which is why I've chosen it for this prompt. Getting your blood boiling usually makes you think of anger, and there were parts of this book that definitely made me angry, but it also brought about a lot of other emotions, both positive and negative, and so that's why I have chosen it for this prompt. The next prompt is based off of my favourite Pokemon ever, Articuno, and the prompt says, a book that you would wait for the world to freeze over before you got rid of it. And for this, I have chosen A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. This is just the first book, but it's a 13-book series, and the reason that I would never get rid of it is simply because all the books together on one shelf just look really aesthetically pleasing, and I'm not willing to give that up, and I'm superficial like that. The next prompt is based off Lugia, and that is a book that you feel like has psychic powers, a book that really speaks to you on a personal level. And I'm actually going to skip this prompt because I don't really feel like there's any book that speaks to me on a personal level. I like reading because I like to be entertained and engage with like plot and characters and stuff like that, and there aren't many books that I've read that touch me personally, and the ones that have only touched me in like certain aspects. There isn't a book that really, you know, reaches into my soul and is me in book form, so I'm going to skip that prompt. The next prompt, however, is based off of Entei, and it says, a character or characters from a book or book series that you wouldn't mind being your parents, or a character that reminds you of your parents. And for this, we're going right back to Harry Potter, because Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, I certainly wouldn't mind them being my parents, because they're just so lovely. Mrs. Weasley has like that strict side to her, which I really love, but she's also really caring and nice, and I adore that about her. And then Mr. Weasley is one of those people that you feel like you can go to about anything, and I think that would be really good to have as a dad, obviously. So Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. The next prompt is based off of Ho-Oh, and it is a book that you love that you feel like no one even knows about. And for this, I'm going with Del Toro Quest by Emily Rodder. This is a book series that I have talked about a few times on my channel, but I've never ever seen anyone else talk about it to my knowledge, and I think that is a crime because it's a really good middle grade fantasy series that I think everyone would really enjoy, and I don't think anyone knows about it, so yeah. And the final prompt for the legendary Pokemon book tag is Latios and Latias, a book with a duo that you absolutely adore. And for this, I've actually chosen Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. And the duo that I adore in this book is actually Amari and Zaylee. Watching their friendship develop throughout this book gave me life, personally. Because at first, they're not too keen on each other, and as the book goes on, they do start to develop positive feelings towards each other, and it makes me really happy. So they are the duo that I have chosen, and I'm very excited to see how their friendship develops in the second book, which comes out very soon. So yay. So next up is the starter Pokemon book tag, and this one is really cool because Sarah has essentially picked a set of questions for each starter Pokemon that you can choose. And so if you go into Sarah's video and go into the description, there is a link and you can choose your starter Pokemon and then answer the questions that are picked for that Pokemon, if that makes sense. So when I used to play Pokemon, I would always choose the water type starter Pokemon, and of course that means that for this I'm going to be choosing the questions for Squirtle. And so let's just dive right into it. So the first prompt is I choose you, name a favourite book and a favourite series. So one of my favourite books is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, which I adore because Eleanor Oliphant as a character is just amazing, and it was just incredible to watch her grow throughout this book, and it was also really funny as well. So if you're looking for something that is a adult contemporary, I think it is, adult contemporary with a bit of humour to it, then I would definitely suggest picking this one up. And for favourite series, I've gone for the Ember Quartet, which is more commonly known as the An Ember in the Ashes series. There's only 3 books out at the minute. However, I absolutely adore the series and cannot wait for the 4th book to come out, hopefully next year, but I think Sabata here is still writing the 4th book, and so I am keeping my expectations low. But I just know that I'm going to love that book when it eventually comes out, and I definitely love the first 3 books. It is a YA fantasy series with Roman Empire influences, but with like Asian influenced magic also, and it's just really cool. So if you haven't read it, please go and do so. So the next prompt is water type Pokemon, a character that goes with the flow. And for this, we're going back to a series of unfortunate events, and I'm just gonna say all 3 of the Baudelaire orphans, who are the main characters in this series. And the reason I've chosen them for this go with the flow prompt is because the whole series is essentially them going with the flow of life. You know, their parents die at the beginning of the series and they are passed on from guardian to guardian and have to somehow just go with that flow of never being settled in one place and never having a home. And so if they don't go with the flow, then I don't know who does. The next prompt says, this tiny turtle Pokemon draws its long neck into its shell to launch incredible water attacks with amazing range and accuracy. Name a character, small in stature but a powerful opponent. Do I even need to name the character who I've chosen for this prompt? Inej, of course. The next prompt is, the Squirtle Squad were a gang of rogue Squirtle who were deserted by their trainers. Name a rogue character or a character on the run. And I know I'm repeating myself with these books, but again I'm choosing Amari from Children of Blood and Bone, who is on the run from the beginning of this book, and she is one of my favourite on the run characters, so I had to choose her for this prompt, and I couldn't really think of anyone else, to be honest, although I'm sure there are hundreds that I just couldn't think of, because I feel like in every fantasy series there is a character on the run. But yeah, I've gone with Amari from Children of Blood and Bone. The next prompt is, Squirtle was originally Ash's first choice. Name a character / book that is your go-to recommendation. And for this one, I'm very, very excited to show you The Black Flamingo. Wow, can't even say the name. The Black Flamingo by Dean Atter. I haven't talked about this book on my channel yet. This is my first time, but I read this recently and then reread it yesterday because I'm going to be filming a full spoiler-free review for this book to try and convince everyone else to read it. And so from now on, this is going to be my go-to recommendation for everyone to read because it's simply amazing. It's told in verse and it follows the life of a boy named Michael who is half Jamaican, half Greek Cypriot. Can't speak today. He's half Jamaican, half Greek Cypriot. He doesn't specify in the book whether he's gay or bi or pan or anything like that, but he is definitely attracted to other men at the very least. And it essentially follows his life from birth to uni as he discovers who he is and what his identity means to him, and he also gets involved with drag. And I have a feeling that when more bigger booktubers start reading this book, it's going to be one of those books that's really popular on booktube. So if you want to, get ahead of the trend, then read it now because, oh my god, it's incredible. And the last prompt for this tag is, in the Pokemon games, female Squirtles are rare. Name a book series with a male protagonist. And for this, I have chosen the Warriors series by Erin Hunter. This is a middle grade series about clans of cats, and the main character is called Rusty, and he is a kitty pet, which essentially means a house cat who discovers these wild clans of cats in the forest at the back of his house, and he goes to join them. And it's honestly like no other series I've ever read before. It's about cats, as I've said, but there is like so much political intrigue and fighting and drama and also like romance, and it's just an incredible series. And it is also one of those series like Harry Potter and Deltora Quest that I read when I was younger, and it means a lot to me. So if this sounds like something that you would enjoy and you haven't read it, then please give it a chance because it's really good. So that brings us to the end of both of those tags and the end of this video. Thank you again to Sarah for making these tags and for tagging me in them because it is my honour to do them. Again, I'm sorry it's late, but anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like or a thumbs up. If you think you like more of my videos, then subscribe below. All of my social media links will be down in the description if you want to check those out. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day. Goodbye.